the title isn't clickbait. I'm not rage baiting. I just don't think FLEETWAY's that good. All right, hold your pitchforks. All right, let me explain. So, as we know, FLEETWAY came about 6 months ago, February, as the time I'm recording. He did. So he got some nerfs, he got some buffs and stuff. But overall, I just don't think he's that good. So first, I should probably start off with his moveset. So he has flight, dash, laser, fateful drain, burst. So I'd say his fighting against his flight is like really horrid, especially if there's a lot of flight, but like it drains very fast. And even if you use chaos dash in the air while you're flying, it also takes away your flight bar. So, and you barely get it throughout the game. So I feel like that's fine. His dash is pretty counterable. You can use it in the air, but you still got your Knuckles counter. You got your Eggman shield. You also got silver suspension, I think. Also silver rocks. So nothing too bad. And his laser is honestly, I would say, pretty counterable. You could just hide, or if he's just low enough, you could just stun him regularly. But if he's high in the air, you got Blaze, because remember, Blaze could fly. You got Tails, you got Silver Rocks, yeah, and Amy Hammer as well. So I feel like there's counterplay. Also Shadow, but Shadow got booted. Thank God he did. But I would say his laser not too bad. Fateful drain, I feel like that's like the main problem, because Metal is charging you, fateful drain it. Sonic is charging you with his drop dash, fateful drain it. Knuckles punch. Also, if they counter, if you just fateful drain, you get 2 free hits. That's like really ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. But I would say when it comes to FLEETWAY's matchups, I don't think people do realize, but like, he is very strong against, Tails, very good against Amy, does really well against Silver, but like to most of the other casts, he has struggles with, because Metal, just Metal. If you just have a Metal on your team, that's like very good. It's like over for FLEETWAY, I'm not gonna lie. Especially because if you get into a Metal LMS with like a decent Metal, it's just basically an auto loss, because like it is absolutely painful. But not only Metal, but you also have Sonic does well, Knuckles does well, and Blaze does well, and Eggman does, I would say, pretty solid. I'd say Amy, Tails, and kind of Silver, because Silver has a lot of like rocks and stuff, so Silver kind of sucks. But I would say there's lots of counterplay against FLEETWAY, especially with the characters. As long as you do decent on Metal, Knuckles, and Sonic, and like other characters, you should be fine. On the maps, I would say it's like really on FLEETWAY's favor, because as we all know, most of the maps are like kind of unfair towards killers. But for FLEETWAY, he does pretty much solid on every map, even like the maps like Green Hill, where like a lot of killers struggling because of how huge it is, especially like Tripwire, 2011 Colossus, they struggle a lot in Green Hill, and Mystic Cave. FLEETWAY does pretty good on those maps, but I would say he does like solid on like every map. But I would say overall, his biggest weakness is just teamwork and coordination. I know that sounds ridiculous, it sounds a little goofy, but if you work well with your team, if you're in a lobby with competent players that know how to fight against FLEETWAY, especially because of how long he's been on the game, if you have like Metal, Sonic, you have 3 stun stackers to worry about as FLEETWAY. The second you get stunned as FLEETWAY, that's like all your HP gone, because there is 3 stun stackers now: Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and there's also just Metal. So if you get stunned by all of them, that's like all your health gone, I'm not gonna lie. And you could burst mid stun, but they could just run away, and then you could get hit by the flames. I feel like there's just not much. There is stuff you could do there, but like, I'm not gonna lie, it is absolute hell fighting in like high player lobbies with also competent players that work together. It just makes you feel useless, and that's how you see most of these FLEETWAYs die in these public lobbies. But overall, I would take FLEETWAY over Colossus. I wouldn't say any day, every day, but like FLEETWAY is not that bad. A long story short, you got your Metal, you got countermeasures to him, but I feel like the best way to balance him, just because you don't have to rely on like Metal, Sonic, Knuckles, and also just good coordination, is to basically just like nerf the hell out of Fateful Drain. I feel like that's like the #1 thing that's like keeping it overpowered. Remove the iframes and make it go way less farther, because it goes way too far, I will not lie. And I feel like people will hate him way less because there is actual counterplay, which all the other killers have. So the fact that would make Fleetway way more manageable, and people would not treat him like that horribly. So overall, I would take Fleetway over Colossus. Not every day, I know I said that, but yeah. I want to see what you guys think about this in the comments. If you guys want to debate about this, you know, I'm here in the comments. I want to see what you guys think. Am I tweaking, or am I actually onto something, or I'm on something? So yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with the final batch, especially what they do with Fleetway and also the other characters, because I think Crimson X is coming as well. So I want to see how people think about Crimson X, and also I feel like they're gonna probably, you know, balance Fleetway a little bit. So I want to see what people think about that. So yeah. Fleetway is a bum. Long story short. Have a great day, guys.